right. This is the 68th episode of the Runnin My Mouth podcast. I am your befuddled host, Erin, and allow me to run my mouth for a little bit. So, I am befuddled because, and this is a very rare occurrence that this happens. Like, I can't even tell you the last time this has, genuinely happened, but I have very little to talk about today. I'm just gonna keep it a band. I came in here 30 minutes ago. I looked down at my topics list. There's four things on here. There's four things on here now, but just because I wrote three things down, and one of these I don't even. Anyway, we're gonna try. We're gonna try very hard today. On this day, it's the 30. What? I was about to say it's the 39th. It's it's the 29th as I'm recording this, but this should come out April 1st. April Fools. I'm the April Fool because I don't have anything to talk about. That's crazy. I kind of didn't make the connection that this is coming out on April Fool's Day. There's no fools in this episode. I can guarantee. The only fool, like I said, is me. Because I don't have anything to talk about. Yeah, I don't know. These last 2 weeks, there is a fly. Oh my god. These last 2 weeks have been very low key. What can I say? And I haven't been to any shows because the one that I wanted to go to was canceled for a reason that I don't know. This fly is making me so mad right now. It's making me the April Fool. So yeah, well, I mean, things have been happening. Let me just say that. Things have been happening. And some of these things, well, two of these things, I'm like, I have this kind of, I won't call it dumb. I won't call it dumb because I won't refer to things in reference to myself as dumb because it's a little mean to myself. But sometimes I get the feeling that if I talk about things and I'm really excited about them, then they don't happen. But that's only really at risk of happening for one of these things. And I don't know, I'll just get into it. I don't even know if I ever really talked about this on the pod, now that I think about it. Cause, yeah, I don't think I have. Maybe I was thinking about talking about it, but then I never actually ended up talking about it. So, I mean, I wanted to make it this big reveal, but the whole point of the thing that I'm talking about is that the only person who does care about it is me. So if I even, I don't know, spoil it, which there's no spoilers, nobody will care. So it's fine. I can talk about it. It'll be fine. So to give a little background, 2 years ago, I made this video on my main channel. It's just Erin, which has been somewhat neglected over these past few months, but it's okay. Talking about this band that I had found, and I wrote about this in a more expanded way on Jackson Underground, but I was writing about this band that I had found, looking for footage at work to use for a weather promo. I wanted to see if we had gotten a tornado on camera, in a good view, to use that in a promo, right? And so I wasn't really finding anything. I was getting a little frustrated. So I just sorted by oldest instead of newest in our system. And I found this news story from 2010 about this band that got caught in a tornado on I-55 in Holmes County, I want to say. And that band was Burning Windsor, and they were a band from Vicksburg, and they were on their way to Battle of the Bands. And even though they literally flipped their Jeep and their trailer, and both of those things were totaled, they were still able to make it to the Battle of the Bands, which was going to be in Memphis. And they had to play on borrowed gear, and that's the whole story. But at the time, this was, I say 2 years ago, it's actually 3 years ago. I made this video in 2023, October 2023. So it's actually closer to 3 years ago. At the time when I made this, right, obviously, now I know all these things to be false. And I've gone into the emotions surrounding it a little bit more in, the essay that I wrote on my website. So I probably won't get into it too much here, but honestly, I probably will, let's be honest. I sort of felt isolated for a very long time for my musical interests. And if you, have been listening to this podcast for any amount of time, literally any episode. I come out the gate talking about music, even though this podcast wasn't really intended to be a music podcast, but it kind of turned into that. Um, music is like a very big deal to me. And, the genres that I'm into are not exactly um popular when I grew up. I didn't know a single other person who listened to the kind of music that I did, except for one person. We had like one conversation about it and then never spoke to him again. Not for really any reason. That's just kind of how it happened. And this was also 3 years ago, the time where I was at, and I'll kind of, I guess, go into it in the eventual follow-up video because that's what I'm building up to here. But in hindsight, I've kind of realized that I was kind of at a very, you know, I'll say intense crossroad in my life where I was starting a new job. And I mean, at that time, it kind of wasn't that new. I think I was like 6 months in by then, by the time I made my discovery, or maybe less than that. I don't know, because I started my job in February, and then I made that discovery in like July. I don't know. Someone's gonna do the math. But either way, I was new, but I wasn't that new, at my workplace. But I was still, kind of really hoping that it would work out because, I was going from this old job that I hated, and I was like, coming from spending, honestly, not as long as some people have spent unemployed. I will say it was only 8 months after I graduated. But I say that, but it felt like 70 million, 50, 11 years that I spent at home, back home, in my hometown, in my childhood bedroom, just like languishing. Like, I didn't really want to have to do that again. So I was like, okay, I kind of have to make this job work. And luckily for me, my job is working out very well. This February was 3 years. So it's like, yeah, it worked out. Thank God. Oh my God. I gotta hold on to this one because it's weird out there. What can I say? It's just weird out there in the greater job landscape, but I'm digressing so much. Um, I was, starting at this new job. I was just coming out of a friendship that I didn't really know was over at the time, but at the time it was absolutely over. It was way over by then, to be completely honest, to keep it a band. And, I was spending a lot of time by myself, at that time, which for me, given that, I don't know if I actually am an introvert. I've kind of had that through line for like pretty much my whole life that like, yeah, I'm just an introvert. But the older I get, the more it's like, am I? Or do I like legit have anxiety? Like what's the deal there? you know? We won't unpack that here. Not here. Not in this forum. Um but yeah, I was spending a lot of time alone, and for me, I am the type of person who is like really okay spending time alone. Like, I don't think I ever want to live with another person for probably as long as I live. I'm pretty sure I've talked about my duplex plan here on the pod at least once. But to give you a refresher, if I do ever end up getting married, which I am not under threat of marriage at this juncture, but who knows, things can change. I ideally, and obviously, doing this would cost quite a bit of money if I would, build it from scratch, but I would rather live in a duplex with my husband than live in the same house as him, because I don't know, I just really like living alone. It really is great. I really love having the whole house to myself. There really isn't anything like it. I will say living in close proximity with people does have its cons, because I was taking a nap earlier today and I kept getting woke up by someone knocking. I don't know what was going on. I couldn't even figure out where it was going on. If it was above me or like next to me or what, but I just kept getting woken up by my well-deserved Sunday midday nap by someone either hammering something or like knocking on a door. Like, I don't even know. All I know is that it was in fact pissing me off. So, those are the downsides of living in proximity with people. But anyway, I am again digressing a whole lot. All that to say is that I was kind of in a really weird time at the time, and I was really searching for some kind of community. Like, I didn't know what exactly that would look like, but I just really wanted to be around like minded people. And that's kind of one of the things that I miss about college. Honestly, really only for like the fact that I could be around other writers, because obviously started out college under creative writing before I switched to film. But even still, I was still able to be surrounded by like minded individuals, even though I still felt like I was somewhat of an outlier, even in my film program. Um, so yeah, something that I liked a lot about college is that there was a lot of, not really just like collaborative, but there were like people around to like read my my writing and for me to read their writing. I've wanted to be in some kind of writing group for honestly forever, but I was trying to find something like that. And then my oh, geez. I don't even know. Okay. So, my therapist, I haven't really talked about my therapy or my therapist much, really anywhere to anyone, but I will now. My therapist is almost crunchy, but not quite. Um, she had me. And the more I think about this, the more that I like say it out loud, the more I'm like, this is, I don't know what's going on here. But she made me pay, well, she didn't make me. I chose to do this, but I did pay, I don't even know how much it was. It wasn't that much. I'll say that much. To do like the official Enneagram test. Like the real one. I don't know, from the Enneagram Institute. And apparently, and I didn't know this, but there are people that are like way into this. Like, obviously, I knew about personality typing from my time being online as a kid. What is it, Myers Briggs? Like, everyone and their mom had that in their bio on tumblr.com. So it's like, okay. Like, I'm familiar with this on a surface level. I can't even remember which one I was. Hold on. I should have it in my email. My results. I am. Oh, and it was only $12, so it wasn't even really that much. But can I even still access this? I should be able to. Hold on. I know we're digressing a lot, but honestly, the fact that I don't have that much to talk about, just walk with me here. Here we go. I am a 4 and a 9, which if you're into the whole personality typing thing, which I'm not, to be completely honest, like, honestly, I like it for like a little bit of fun. But like taking any serious amount of stock in it is not something that I do. But apparently I'm a type 4 and a type 9. And a type 4 is the individualist and type 9 is the peacemaker. But anyways, I did that test and I was like, okay, I mean, that's that, I guess. But apparently there are like Enneagram groups, like group meetings that you can go to. And, another thing is that and honestly, I haven't even really been able to do this like now, but I want to be around people my age, other mid 20s, I guess at the time, early 20s people, young professionals, that kind of thing. And the Enneagram group struck me as something that was populated by people that were quite older than I, and my therapist was like, oh, there's a range of ages, but I think that range might stop at like 40, or start rather at 40 and then stop at like, I don't know, the sky's the limit. So I wasn't super interested in that. Also because I did feel that, the whole personality typing thing was a little bit woo woo. And it's like, I mean, if we're just, because the whole point of the thing, and I remember this, we talked about this during one of our sessions, it's not so that you can just like go and mingle. That would be one thing. But no, you are there specifically to talk about the Enneagram and like what group or type you are. And it's like, I don't want to do that. I just want to talk to other writers my age. Or I don't know, literally anything other than that, So here I am at my desk at this time, kind of to go back to the thing that I'm actually talking about. And, I see because at the time I wasn't really sure that, because I mean, to me, it didn't really seem like it, that there were like a group of people interested in metal, centralized anywhere, just like in the South, especially not Alabama or Mississippi, the places where I have lived. I've since found that to be false, obviously, but follow me, we're getting there. Um, so, I saw this band and I was like, this appears to be a metal band and they're from Vicksburg. That's kind of random. Of course, it's not random, but it's kind of random. Um, and so I'm like, okay, I do a little bit of research. There's not a whole lot available because, at the time that they're active, everyone was on MySpace, and MySpace is unfortunately a kaput. And I got to listening to their music, and I really like their music. And I saw that they had on their Reverb Nation page, which is still up, that they had a list of performances in different places. And one of those places was in Tupelo, one of those was in Memphis, and another one was in Raymond. And there was a fourth one that I can't remember. But they've also performed in Jackson, because when I wrote the article or essay, I'll call it an essay, going more into detail, with like more in-depth research than my video had, I was able to find, and now these are available for free. They were not when I was writing it. I was able to find a whole like catalog of Jackson Free Press issues on this website called Issuu, ISSUU, which I guess it's supposed to be issue, but it looks like Issuu. So I was able to find it on that website, but they were all like locked and you had to get the owner of the publication to make it available. And given that, at the time the Jackson Free Press had been shut down since like 2019, I want to say, I wasn't holding my breath for that to happen. However, sometime between when I wrote my essay and now, they have become unlocked. So in the it was a issue from 2010 or 2009 maybe. I think it was 2009 that I found. It was cached in like the Google search result. I was able to find their name listed and a performance listed under their name. And so yeah, they have performed in Jackson at minimum once at Howlin' Mouths back in like 2010 or 2009 or something like that. I can't quite remember. So it's like, man, this used to be here, right? And all this stuff that I'm looking at, this is from 2009, 2010, 2011, maybe 2012, all that to say over a decade ago at this point. So it's like, well, where is all of this now? Like, this used to exist. Like, did it die out? Did COVID completely kill it? Like, it killed a lot of things and people. And it's like, well, where is this? And, this realization did make me very emotional. I remember crying about it while, Googling at home, at my old apartment. So it's like, for me, it felt almost cruel in a way. That's the only word that I can use to describe it, that something like this existed, but it was long before I was here and it might not be here anymore. And so that kind of weighed on me for like a couple of weeks, until I went on Nextdoor, because like I say in the video, I like to know what the boomers are up to. And I see that someone's asking like, oh, what is this building in this neighborhood that always has a lot of people at it, like at night? And it was Urban Foxes. And so I look up Urban Foxes. To me, on their website, they're just like a bakery. But they had like an events page, I think, maybe like an events calendar, an events page, or their ticketing page. And in the drop down, I saw all these names of like bands and stuff, and my little metalhead sensors go off again, and it's like, wait, these might be metal bands, these might be heavy music bands. And sure enough, they were. And I went to a show, and the rest is history, as we know with this podcast. So, all that happened. But despite that discovery, I still wasn't able to find out much about the members of Burning Windsor. Like, what happened to them? What happened to the band? Like, really, any information like that. So fast forward, I made that video in 2023. Fast forward to last year. I went through, I don't even know what to call it, other than like a complete boondoggle with this one Canadian company who really gets mad when I say their name. And so I was getting like some emails from some reporters, well, one reporter. And I was like, maybe there might be more in like my Twitter DMs. Like, is this the only person trying to get in contact with me about this particular thing that's going on? And so I go on my Twitter DMs, and sure enough, there's a DM from the reporter. But I also saw a DM from one of the members of Burning Windsor. But at that point, it had been like a few months, like three or so months since that message was sent. Because Twitter is really bad about sending you notifications. And also, this is the Elon Muskification of it all. I had mostly stopped using Twitter at that point. And so I look at the account, and the account's like empty. Everything is gone. And I'm like, man, like, I think I'm too late. Thankfully, included in that DM was a phone number. And so I texted the phone number, and I didn't hear back for like a month. And then that person texted me back, and I tried to set something up, but it kind of fell apart. And I, for whatever reason, just didn't really push it. Fast forward to the beginning of this month, I get a comment on the video from a different member of the band. And this time it doesn't take me a month to see it. It only takes me a day, thank God. And so, I get them to reach out, and I, find out that most of the members are still, except for like one, are still living in Mississippi, in, Vicksburg even. And so to bring that to present day, I am setting up what I would say is a rather ambitious interview with the members of Burning Windsor, and I'm very happy that it is coming together. Now, of course, I really don't like to say stuff about stuff until like the ink is dry, so to speak. And for me, that would be until after the interview has actually been shot, and the only thing left to do would be to edit it. But thankfully, it does seem like everyone is willing and very enthusiastic to talk. So that's good. And so I am getting help, because listen, I do the whole video stuff for work, but Teams make things easier. So I do have someone helping me out with that, thankfully. And we are going to look at a space to have the interview this Tuesday. So I'm hoping that goes well. I think it'll be fine, actually. I think it will be fine. Honestly, I am going to leave some of that up to my videographer helper, because they are really experienced and they do really know what they're doing. So it's like, honestly, I will leave it to them for like the visual element. And I think I just want to focus on everything else, I guess. So, I'll be editing it, conducting the actual interview. So I am very excited for that to happen. If things go well, I think I could probably have it out. And this is going to sound crazy, but probably June. And I know it's like March. Well, when you're watching this, it's April. So that's like a couple months, but that's because the actual interview won't be happening until May, tentatively. Tentatively, it won't be happening until May. I'm hoping that the date that we have right now is the one that will be the one, but tentatively, it's in May. So that's that. This is a very full circle moment for me. I've had a lot of full circle moments in the last 3 years, if I'm being honest, and this is probably going to be the big one. I feel like I should have more emotions about this, but honestly, I am just trying to kind of, I don't know, delay gratification, I guess. I don't want to say mission accomplished with the banner behind me on that aircraft carrier, and then still have, another however many years of war in the Middle East, so to speak. So that's one of the projects that I have coming up. Another one, not as big, but as you all know, I thought I bought it in December. I don't know why I thought that. I bought my synth in September, like late September. I bought a synth. I got it off of eBay. I have a Korg mini log. She is not currently in my possession because she is currently in the shop, because I bought it at a huge discount because one of the keys isn't working. The low G key is not working. I cracked her open myself and I saw that it was in fact kind of corroded. And so, I bought some contact cleaner. I got some rubbing alcohol and I tried to do something and it didn't do anything. So, I was like, well, guess I just won't use that key, which, as you're playing it, it is kind of annoying to not have a functioning key because everything else works on the synth. So I did pretty well in my secondhand buying adventure because a new one was gonna go for like $600, and that's not including shipping. I paid under $300 for the synth. Everything worked except for the one key, and I personally don't think it's like unfixable. And some of the people that I've talked to about it also don't think it's unfixable. So that's a good sign, but it's now currently in the shop. And the person who is working on fixing it is Chris of. I'm gonna leave that alone because I was just getting feedback, fiddling around with that. Don't piss me off, please. This dang equipment that I have is sometimes piss me off prone, so it's like, let me just leave it alone. Chris slash Grave Member is actually fixing it, which honestly probably the best person that I could find to do it, and also for free. Oh my god, like what? I honestly wouldn't know how much it would actually cost to get it fixed because I don't, I mean, something would have to happen to the circuit board. Like if I were to find a picture, because I took a picture, which I'm not going to put it on screen, so you're just going to have to use your imagination. Let's see, when did I actually open it? It's got in September. Maybe it was like around October. I actually cracked her open. If I can find it. Maybe not. Because it took me a while to actually, like, open it up, And I'm trying to find a picture, but maybe it wasn't until November. Because I have a picture of what it actually looks like on the inside, and I want to consult it again, but I genuinely don't know where it is. Where is it at? Okay, I think I've scrolled. You know what? It doesn't matter. It truly doesn't matter. It's corroded on the inside. That's all you need to know. Truly. So I took it over to him to get it fixed. And in exchange, I was going to interview him. And I actually spent quite a while over at his studio. Just kind of messing around with all the synths. It's honestly a lot of fun. Honestly, there's this meme where it's like XYZ is fun if you don't got someone in your ear telling you to do XYZ, but playing music is fun when you don't got somebody in your ear telling you to learn music theory. Like, doing art is fun when you don't got somebody in your ear telling you to learn a color theory. And that's definitely true. Obviously, it might make you better. Will it make you have more fun? I don't know. But, if you're really just out here trying to have a time, you don't need to learn music theory or color theory or like, I don't know, anything. Just have fun. Life is short. Life is short. Anyways, all that to say is that there is a new Jackson Underground article on the way after who knows how long. I am writing things for my website. Please clap. So that'll be fun. I am, because like 30% of the way through it. I'm not even gonna lie. I still have a ways to go. So I don't know when this is coming out. I said, oh yeah, I'm gonna try to do some writing this weekend. Guess who didn't do any writing this weekend? I did more during the week than I did this weekend. But also, I did kind of like just do the interview. So like I have a little bit of time. So, it'll be fun when that comes out. Hopefully. And another upcoming thing that I have, which this isn't, as Honestly, no, I'm lying. It is as big as the other ones. It is just as big as the other ones. Because you know what? I've never had my photographic work exhibited anywhere. And honestly, it would be really cool for me to do that. And I do have the opportunity to do that. I saw someone, presume, yes, a student at Millsaps who was putting together an exhibit of, I guess, punk ephemera. Um, and I'm gonna hopefully, if I can get my act together and like actually put it together and like get it printed, because I need to get the pictures printed, I could have my pictures in the Millsaps library, and I think that would be really cool. I don't go to Millsaps. I haven't gone to Millsaps. I went to Belhaven, and they're supposedly ops, but like we didn't really care. I didn't care. I did not care. Apparently, Belhaven and Millsaps are rivals, so I'm like doing a traitorous thing by doing this, but they're not doing this at Belhaven, so it's like, what recourse do I have? You know, if you are a Belhaven student, and I'm trying to think, we don't even really have stuff in our library though. Now, granted, did I really go into Belhaven's library? Not really. Not really. But there are not art installations in there. There could be. But also, I feel like Belhaven is more of an arts school. So soliciting stuff from outside probably wouldn't make sense when they do have like a whole entire gallery available for students. So it's like, yeah. And it's like, now that I think about it, like, yeah, I am going to have my stuff exhibited at a place if I can just, again, get my act together and get it printed, which that'll probably have to happen this weekend, if I'm being completely honest. So that's going to be fun. There's a lot coming up, you know? The future, it is quite bright for me, creatively anyways. Everything else, I don't really know. It's really a toss-up, if I'm being honest. But creatively, for me, pretty good. Speaking of creatively, the Emmy nominations are tonight, and it's not the regular Emmy nominations, but it's for us peons in local news. And I went and I looked at our entries, and none of them have my name on it, so I can't even get it nominated for an Emmy this year because nothing that I made was submitted, which I only kind of remembered that like 45 minutes ago. Well, no, an hour ago when I looked it up. So, you know, would I want my station to get nominated for some stuff? Of course. Of course. Because then I get to make the promo when we win. But, my name isn't on any of it, so I can't. I think I wanted to, you know, that was on my list of goals, all of which I have forgotten, by the way, for this year. So it's like, I can't even do that. I'm already disqualified, you know, and I don't even know when it's happening, because I know they do like a live stream, but I don't think that live stream is listed like anywhere. But also the actual date of the nominations wasn't like actually on the website until like either 2 weeks ago or last week. Because under Emmy nominations, because, like, you know, they have the exact dates for the eligibility period and the video upload deadline. But the nominations, there's just March 2026. And, you know, last week I was like, well, it's March. It's almost about to be not March. When are the nominations being announced? And it's today / tonight. And I'm not in the running at all, but obviously my station is. So cool. Not that cool though. I would have liked some of my work to be submitted, but I guess I'll have next year. I guess, you know. And I know people say like, oh, we don't do it for the awards. I do it for the awards, just a little bit. I like being recognized for the things that I do. And I like having little statues. So I don't even have a little statue. I've won stuff, but I didn't get a statue for it. I want a statue. I might get a statue though, pretty soon. Because we have another award show coming up in like a couple weeks. And I honestly have a really good chance of getting a statue this time. Honestly, I just want a statue. I just want a trophy. That's it. I just want a trophy. And honestly, I want the satisfaction of being able to say that I am the first Emmy nominated or Emmy winning person in my film department, which the more time goes on, the more that slips away from me. And, I never really thought of myself as being particularly competitive, but something that I have learned is I love putting myself in competition with people who don't know they're in competition with me. So there you go. That there you go. Gosh. Anyway, speaking of work, I went to the Jackson Food and Wine Festival. When was that? Was it last week? Well, that's not on here. Why would it be on my calendar? It's not on my calendar. I think it was last week. Last Saturday. Yeah. And I was able to get in for free because I work for the media. And when you work for the media, they just give you stuff for free. It's honestly pretty dope. I will say working this job I don't do stuff like that super often, but when I do, it's always great. And I didn't have to work. Like, we got tickets and stuff and we got media passes, but we weren't expected to work. We just got to go and gallivant and eat and drink. And it was pretty great. I will say for the food was kind of I won't say it's just okay, but I don't think really anything stood out to me. They had like, what do you call it? Like demonstrations and stuff, but I didn't really stay to watch them. And then, they had a bunch of booths set up with like different restaurants. Most of them were in Mississippi. There were some from out of state. Giving out like little samples of food. I did want to try stuff from Hidden Egg, but unfortunately they were like sold out, which I mean, you didn't really have to pay for the samples or anything. You pay for the ticket and that pays for like everything in there except for like whatever VIP stuff they had going on. Because I haven't been at the actual restaurant. I do want to go to the actual restaurant because I actually did used to live downtown, like very close to the former Sun and Sand. And I would drive past it sometimes to get to my apartment. And I really want to know what the inside looked like because just driving by and looking at the inside, it was very mid-century, like futurism, if that makes sense, the whole aesthetic of it. And I really hope that they preserve that because they did redo the interior, I want to say like 2 years ago now, or at least they started 2 years ago. And the Hidden Egg only just recently opened in that like a few months ago, I'll say. And I ordered food from there and it was pretty good, but I want to know what the inside looks like. I think what I need to do, and I have sort of done this before, is I want to just take a weekend because I love doing a little staycation because Jackson has some really great restaurants, right? But I just don't go to them. I just don't go to the inside of them, which is kind of crazy. But I feel like I need to take one weekend, right? 2 days where I do breakfast, lunch, and dinner at, let me see, 6 different restaurants. And then like, I don't know, maybe do a video or something about it. Or I don't know, just do it. Why not? Because, I like to eat. I like food. I like the restaurant experience, but it's one of my favorite things to do on vacation is like try out restaurants and stuff, but it's like I don't have to travel to do that. Like I can try out the restaurants that we have here. Like I could do breakfast at any number of these brunch places that we have, do lunch at any number of these. I mean, do we really have like lunch places? Not really. And then do dinner at any number of these like really nice restaurants that we have. Obviously that would take some money, some coinage. And I'm not trying to do the whole foodfluencer thing. I just want to go to the restaurants and eat. That's really it. I'll pay for it. Like, I'm just a regular patron, So it's like, I really do want to do something like that. When is Juneteenth? June 19th. Oh, it's a Friday. I get a 3-day weekend. I might honestly do it. Well, why would I even wait? Why wait? Here's the fly. Oh my God. Get away from me. Where did it go? I don't know. Hold on. I'm not good at killing flies. We're gonna ignore her. Get away from me. Oh my God. So yeah, that is that. That was the Jackson Food and Wine Festival. I tried an espresso martini for the first time. This fly is really starting to piss me off. I tried an espresso martini for the first time. They had them in like these teeny tiny little martini glasses. That was fun. I'm not really a cocktail person. To be completely honest, I'm mostly just a wine person. If I am going to drink something, hate beer. hate it real bad, do not like beer. It's not good. And I don't care how many types of beer there are, I'm not gonna like them. I'm not going to like them. They taste not good, and I'm not going to enjoy them. And I'm not going to enjoy the breweries where people bring their babies and toddlers and have them run around. I'm not going to enjoy that. I've been there, done that. Don't think I want to do it again. I want to go to a grown up space and do grown up things like drink alcohol. All right. Anyway. So, yeah, had an espresso martini for the first time. Didn't expect it to kind of taste like chocolate. Like, it tastes like coffee, obviously, but it also tasted like chocolate. It didn't really taste like alcohol, which is interesting. I also tried, because I saw like these shorts. There's this woman, she's grown. I think she is based in Atlanta, but she goes out to all of these, because like I see the weird, the weird like liquor store concoctions that the liquor stores make online. I don't even think I've ever stepped foot in a liquor store, to be completely honest. But they'll have the stuff in the cup, and then they have the little shooters and like candy and like other things that are supposed to go together, and then you get the ice and you put everything in it, and then you make the little liquor potion, and then you drink it and you probably black out. She does that, but she also got they had the little shots, like I forget what they're called. But hold on, pre-made Jello shots, because they had Jello shots, but they were not shotties. That's what they were, because they like had a booth where they were just handing these out, and for whatever reason, the group that I was with was able to get like a whole bag that had like a variety of them in there. These are only $24. I say only $24. I don't know if that's like expensive or not when it comes to alcohol. Also, apparently, I don't know if this is still going on, but there's been a liquor shortage in Mississippi for like over a month at this point. I'm not entirely sure. Like, we've been doing coverage on this like the entire time it's been happening. I haven't been paying attention to the coverage, but we are in, I don't know which one is actually the high number. I was going to say DEF CON, but I don't know which number is actually the bad one. But we have a liquor shortage. The liquor stores can't get the liquor because there's been no like deliveries, apparently, which also calls into question, well, I mean, no, yeah, that calls into question how they get all the liquor for the Jackson Food and Wine Festival. I think it's because the liquor manufacturers were there. It's just the brands that were making the stuff that was there. But it wasn't just them. It was also some other establishments. So, like, what's going on? Well, I mean, they had Cathead Distillery, and they distill all their own stuff, like, at that place downtown, presumably. And, breweries and stuff, they have all their operations there. So it's like there's no need for transport. But, like, I don't know, man. I don't know how any of this works. I'm just here, you know? Anyways, yes, there has been a liquor shortage. But either way, I had a lemon drop shotties shot, and it tasted like a lemon drop. I've had a lemon drop before, I think. Yes, I have. But it was just so like thick and syrupy and like really sweet. Like, I drank it obviously, but I don't know if I liked it. It was I felt like you were supposed to not distill it, that's not the word, dilute it. Like, you're supposed to put that in some water or something, and that's like, because it was weirdly thick. Like, it just felt really sugary. Like, if you put way too much sugar in Kool-Aid, that's kind of the consistency of it. So yeah, but they had like actual Jello shots, which I don't know. So, and I also tried this place that makes wine out of like lemons, which, I mean, it ended up just kind of tasting like lemonade, which great. But what separates you from, say, a Mike's Hard Lemonade, which I don't think I've ever had one of those either, but still, conceptually, because they had like a carbonated one and an uncarbonated one, and I sampled the carbonated one, and it was good, but it just kind of tasted like an alcoholic fizzy lemonade, So, I mean, it was nice, but that was kind of it, So yeah, that was kind of fun. And I mean, that was the Jackson Food and Wine Festival. And I suppose it's time for me to do my outrage. So I am about to go over a list of shows that are coming up recently, coming up soon. And I didn't go to any shows these past couple of weeks, but even if I did, I wouldn't want to be at these shows without my eargasm earplugs. And you don't want to be at shows without your eargasm earplugs. Oh wait, you don't have any eargasm earplugs? Are you serious? Well, that's okay, because you can use my code JX10 to get 10% off on eargasm.com, and you'll be able to protect your ears at shows. Isn't that great? They have a variety of colors aside from blue. I would take these out, but I know they're not clean, and you people are not going to look at my earwax. So, get yourself a pair of, they have the standard blue. They have a bunch of other fun colors. The colors don't necessarily mean anything. They're just colors. They have some, like, branded one with festivals and stuff, but I think they're more expensive. Honestly, you could just get the regular blue ones. They also have earmuffs for children, but not for adults. And they also have aviation earplugs for presumably being in planes. Not sure if you're flying or a passenger. I think either one works fine, maybe. Also, yeah. Anyway, all of that you can get and use my code JX10 to get 10% off on eargasm.com. Okay, so last I checked, we have 11, entries. So we're going to see how many we have. Still 11, plus mine, that's 12. I only need 8 more, and then I can start working on this. So, what are you seeking? What are you looking for out there? Do you want to have a gaming partner? Do you want to have a sugar daddy? Maybe a sugar mommy? Or a sugar parent? We accept all here, all right? Do you want someone to talk about books with? Do you want someone to go to shows with? Do you want someone to just yap on the phone with? Do you want to Actually, I'm gonna say this, but don't. Do you want an unpaid therapist? All that and more you could potentially find if you just put yourself out there. Closed mouths don't get fed, okay? You have to ask for what you want. You have to ask. I'm going to say it one more time specifically for you. If you think this is for you, then it's for you. You have to ask for what you want. And you can do that in my zine, Seeking. There's been a QR code up the whole time I've been talking. Scan it. Or you can go on my Instagram. It's like the 4th link in my bio. I'm pretty sure it's in my bio. I just don't know which link it is. Probably number 4. And you can submit. It's pretty anonymous. It's pretty it's pretty anonymous. You can provide a pseudonym. You do need a real email. It can be a fake real email. I mean, a burner email. I don't know why I said fake real. That doesn't make sense. It can be a burner email, but it does have to be an accessible email. Okay? I'll be in there. You won't be alone. I'll be in there. And also 11 other people. So, what are you seeking? You might be able to find it. Take a chance. 2026 is not the year of regrets. All right? Take that to heart. And submit to my zine Seeking. And those are my ad reads. And now we will go over the shows. I think there's been stuff announced since last episode, but I also don't know. Well, anyway, the last show in March is actually tonight. It's Sunday as I'm recording this, so it'll be over by the time you're listening to this, but either way, Clementine, Kaleidoscope Crux, Dreams Without Color, and Snake Meadow Hill at Urban Foxes. That is currently going on right now. It's 8:21. If they would have started on time, which it would have started at 7, so yes, it's going on right now. And then on the 4th, a show that I personally am looking forward to because the last, this lineup was interesting. But the Ignomius and the Sky Imposed Its Will and Plague Burner show got canceled, and I was very sad about it because I wanted to see the Sky Imposed Its Will, but it's fine. I'll have future opportunities, I'm sure. We have That Which Waits Beyond Sleep, Indole, Postule, and Gravemember at CS's on Saturday, April 4th at 7 o'clock. And then Monday, we got a Monday night show, Monday Night Raw, Selfish Act, Fistmonger, and Skinny Brag at the Patent House and Galerie. That will be at 6:30, April 6th. And then that following week, we have Couch Fest numero 5. That's coming up real soon. That is coming up real soon. That's April 17th and April 18th. And that is at Urban Fox's in the backyard. And that should be a whole lot of fun. I don't know if I'm going to go to both days. I do know I definitely want to go to Friday. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then we have on the 20th, we have Die With Nature, Oh Dang, Brucey, and There Goes Tokyo, which is a new project on 420. And then we have Envision, Goodnight Morning, Encircled Throne, and Stupid at the Patent House. That's Sunday, April 26th at 6, and this is in the lead up to Envision being at Welcome to Rockville. And then May 2nd, we have the Muddy River Madness Festival. That's going to be in Vicksburg, but you're going to want to be there. It's going to be great. It starts at 2 o'clock at the BB Club in Vicksburg. There will probably also be food, I would hope. And I think that's like it's $20, I think. Or less than that. I actually don't know. I don't know how much it costs, but I do know it doesn't cost that much. Let's see, May, what else is going on? Oh, we have a doubleheader. Honestly, insane doubleheader. I have a lot going on this particular weekend because, for me personally, I will be seeing Animals as Leaders and the Jonathan Scales Orchestra in Baton Rouge. And they say this one's going to be a special lineup. I hope that means, not lineup, set list. I hope that means they're going to play stuff from Waitlist, because I haven't heard anything from Waitlist live, and I've seen them twice, which isn't a lot of times, but still, I want to hear some stuff from Waitlist live. Give me one song. It can be actually, if they do play David, which is like the outro song, I am going to be a little mad about it, but it will be what I asked for. Either way, I want them to play. You know what? I don't usually hold on. I don't like to look up set lists before shows that I go to, but I'm going to do it. Animals as Leaders Tour. Because I don't even think, this is a really short run of shows, so I don't think it's happened yet. Yeah, it starts April 1st. Are they going to be in Mobile? Hold on. Were more shows added to this? I feel like there's more. Maybe they're opening. I don't think so. They're going to be in Mobile and several places in Florida. Interesting indeed. But for my purposes, they're going to be in Baton Rouge. I don't even know if that's French or not. Like, is Baton Rouge? Well, I guess yes. It's literally Louisiana. Yes, it is French. So Baton Rouge, I'll be there. But their tour hasn't started yet, so I can't even look up the set list. I have to wait till Wednesday, which, yeah, I'll be waiting Wednesday for that set list to drop. And I want Waitlist, please. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to be doing that the 19th. And then that next week, I will have, I'll be going to Memphis for the Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza and like 4 other bands as well. It's probably going to be a really long show, if I'm going to be honest, at Growlers. So that's going to be fun. But then, not the next day, but the day after that. So that's going to be Thursday. Saturday is going to be the Muddy River Madness Festival, which I do plan on going to. And then Sunday is going to be Throne, Mugshot, Vomit Forth, and Your Spirit Dies. That's in the evening, but a matinee show, Claymore, Face Rot, Numji, and Wretched, at 3 o'clock, which I also do want to be there for. It's a lot. It's a whole lot. I'm going to have a very active few weeks in the last few weeks of this upcoming month. So I'm mentally preparing myself for that. And also, all this is self-inflicted. I don't have to go to all these places. I'm gonna, because it's gonna be fun. But it is self-inflicted. Not like I'm gonna be suffering or anything. Like, oh no, I'm gonna be able to see all of this live music for like a reasonable price. The humanity, right? I'm not complaining, but like, it is gonna be a decent amount of traveling. I'll just say that much. And then on the 16th, that's of May, we will have Dead Sugar, the Akashic 45s, and Bass Jump. Ooh, that's gonna be at Hell and Mouse. Ooh, at 7 o'clock in the evening, not the morning. And then we have that same month, the 26th, Amber Lynn, Emery, and Watashi Wa. So that'll be fun. Also, I think Soulja Boy is supposed to be performing at some point in May. Yeah. Also, something that I found out in between, or I think it was in between last episode and this one, is that, and I have learned that they have a touring drummer, so it's like, whatever. But Buster Odeholm, I think that's how you say his name. He's Swedish, so don't jump on me. Is the drummer for Throne, but also does stuff for one of has become my favorite bands, Viltjarta. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, if only we could get Viltjarta in the States, because I don't even know if they've been here before, maybe like a while ago. If so, it's been a while, and I'm just gonna put it out there. Viltjarta US tour. I would love to see it. I would love to see the songs from Mastodon and Mastodon Under Vatten and Thousands of Evils and their new album that has too many words that I can't say. Would love to see it. Would love to hear lyrics that I don't know what they're saying, but girl, I am living. You know, I'd love to see it. I truly would. But alas, we get Throne instead, which I'm like ambivalent on Throne, to be completely honest. Comparative to Viltjarta, they are sort of your more standard hardcore band. Also, I don't know what was going on there for a while, but it felt like, you know, this was when I was still trusting Spotify to not piss me off, but we have since crossed the Rubicon with that. When I was listening to like daily mixes and stuff like that, you know, I would get Throne put in pretty much every single one. So it's like, what's going on here? What are we doing? Is Cash exchanging hands for this to happen? Because there's no way that this, you know, anywho. Anyway, and then this might be the last one I have on my calendar. It's not. June 6th, we have Charcoal, Cookie Woo, and Blue Window at Hal and Mal's. Both Hal and Mal's. That's Saturday, June 6th at 7. And then in July, quite some time from now, we've got Frontal Assault, Yotuma, Ants on Acid, and Plague Burner at CS's July 7th. Yeah. Oh, the 4th of July is on a Saturday, so I don't even get the day off. What the heck, man? Unless they're gonna do that Monday. I wouldn't mind that. But, yeah. Also, something else that happened that it's whatever. I mean, the Hal and Mal's St. Patty's Day parade, I get it's like a big deal here in Jackson. I'm not a native Jacksonian. I only just got here, relatively speaking. It'll be 5 years, I want to say, in July since I've moved here. Moved back, I guess, technically. But also, when I was in college, was I really, like, living here? Not really. But I'll say move back. I'm just not really into parades, if that's okay for me to say, you know? I mean, I get it's more than a parade. Like, there's other stuff going on. There's, like, a music festival, kind of. But I don't know, I'm just not into parades. I mean, I was in quite a few parades when I was a kid, either because my mom just, like, knew someone and was like, hey, put her in the parade, or for, like, school. So I was like, we're walking on pavement for really slowly for who knows how long. I it was like whatever. And it's not like I was like, on like a dance team and dancing during a parade, because if you're doing that, you got to dance like the whole parade. I had friends who did that growing up, and you do truly have to dance the whole parade. It's kind of crazy. Like, thank God I wasn't, because I think I would hate them a little bit more if that was the case. But yeah, I mean, I never really got into the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade for real. I don't know, I'm just not like into parades. Yeah. That's really all there is to it. I get when you're like a parent, there's like not a lot that you can do without like spending money that's like a little bit age appropriate for a kid. So it's like, oh, a parade. We can get these jits out the house finally. So it's like, Also, I always find it funny that the St. Patty's Day parade takes place several days after St. Patty's Day. I feel like after that, I feel like you can do stuff relating to a holiday in the lead up to the holiday, but once the holiday is over, you're not doing Christmas stuff after Christmas. Like after the 25th, we're just in winter now. Like that's it. You know, I guess for Thanksgiving, you have all the leftovers, so you're kind of doing Thanksgiving for a while after Thanksgiving, but Christmas, Valentine's Day, like I'm trying to think of other holidays. I don't know. I feel like we don't really have many multi-day like non-religious holidays. Cuz I think what was it? Ramadan just happened, and that's like what, a whole month that you're like doing stuff. I know there's a lot of Jewish holidays that last for more than a day. I mean, I guess if you're like super Catholic, then like Lent is like it's 40 days. So that goes on for a while. I think we're still technically in Lent because Easter hasn't happened yet, but it's about to. Someone asked me if I was going home for Easter, and I almost said, why would I do that? But then I remembered, like, people are actually religious and, like, care about that kind of thing. Like, I mean, even in my family, like, when I was younger, we went to church for Easter, but it wasn't, like, a big deal. Like, I do know the whole everything surrounding Easter is, like, just a big deal culturally in the South and also among Black people. But my family, we didn't really get into that. I think it is because of the whole Catholicism of it all. But honestly, you would think Catholics would go harder for Easter because, Catholics, they have all the feast days, all of that stuff, which we didn't really get into that. But, I don't know. Anyway, I mean, like I said, I truly don't have anything else to talk about, and we're at an hour, so I'm going to call it. This has been the 68th episode of the Runnin My Mouth podcast. I've been your host, Aaron. Thank you for allowing me to run my mouth. Follow me on Instagram, because if you're not following me on Instagram, I do believe you are, in fact, only getting half the story. That's all I have to say, Protect your ears. Use my code, JX10, to get 10% off on eargasm.com and give yourself the gift of hearing protection. You have until August. I don't know if I will be able to renew my code. So if you do want to use my code, you have until August 7th to do so. The clock is ticking to use my code. If you really are about it, I don't know, man. You got until August 7th. That's all I have to say. What are you seeking? You might be able to find it if you just put yourself out there just a little bit. Scan the QR code or go to the link in my description. Not my description. It won't be in the description of the video on YouTube. It'll be in my bio on Instagram, like the fourth link or something like that. And fill out the form. Tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you want? What are you looking for? What do you want to know is out there for you? Let me know. And I'll put it in a zine, and other people can find it and see it and contact you and all that stuff. And you might find what you're seeking. You never know. Like I said, closed mouths don't get fed. So open up. Yeah, that's it. I did cook, but I ate earlier today and I wasn't hungry, so I was like, this is for the rest of the week. Because if I didn't cook today, I wasn't gonna cook at all. Okay, like who has the energy? Not I to cook during the week. Not I. Um, but I do need to fold my clothes because that's something that I need to do because I don't want to just have a basket of clothes just sitting there all week. It's gonna be annoying. I'm trying to make things easier on myself for future me. That's the whole point of Sundays. So, anywho, I'm out of here.